It's showtime!
The haunt is something that every year it can be new, it can be different, it can be better than before. We built this huge paper mache tree that was Malice in Wonderland.
That was the year you were the queen.
Yeah, I was the Red Queen, complete with double Ds. I still use that picture as my Facebook.
Yes, yes. We've got people that have come through the haunt almost as long as we've had it. And
we have people that say they came here as a kid and are now bringing their own kids
yeah.
here.
We're almost through this.
Haunted houses are designed to make us laugh, to make us scream, and they make us feel like kids again.
A haunted attraction is one of the most sophisticated art forms that you will ever experience. From visual to sensory, knowledge of psychology.
What makes a great haunter is they're obsessed about it.
There is no school for this, you know? You can't go to college and major in haunting. Maybe you're born wrong, I don't know.
It was 1974. I did my first home haunt. We had a bucket of grapes, and as they're squeezing it in, we'd say, "They're eyeballs," and they would scream. Nowadays, you have to waterboard them, you have to shove them, you have to get in their face. We never thought about doing anything like that back in the old days when I started haunting.
And now we've got this entire dark, almost underground world of extreme haunts, where the depths of society are explored and your deepest nightmares are literally put in front of you.
And you're all mine.
These are attractions that blur the line between entertainment, real terror, and torture.
I think the traditional haunted house community just hates us.
I think they're gonna get all of us shut down or heavily regulated.
I'm not really even sure you can classify it as a haunted house. It's more extreme terror experience.
She's gone. Let's go.
This is the infamous baby barbecue. Kids really love this. This is our photo op. My name's Donald Juleson. This is Nightmare on Loganberry. This is my mom's house.
What was Donald like as a kid?
Crazy.
Donald was very imaginative.
This has been walled off to lock the kids in. At that point, the door slides open.
Donald actually sculpted a longer chainsaw part at this point on the end. I'm like, that really looks like a sword without a handle. And he goes, yeah, it's for the chainsword. And I'm like, brilliant play on words there.
I like the suspension of disbelief. I like it that you're being pulled out of reality into something where monsters and demons and things are real and they actually scare you.
As a family, you know, we all come together, you know, out of our love and pride and put together this masterpiece called Nightmare on Loganberry.
We've had at least 4 people pee. We've gotten about 6 retainers popping out of kids' mouths from their screams. One of my favorites was a girl collapsed to the ground in the fetal position and screamed for her mother, just repeatedly saying, "I want my mommy, I want my mommy." She was about 17, so that was kind of funny. We scared this poor child so badly that he took off running down the street, left his sister, and her sister's just crying, "Billy, Billy!" The kid took off. Nobody could catch him. Fortunately, we're in a cul-de-sac. He just went in a big loop. So we found him.
It's not that I love Halloween. I love watching Donald enjoy Halloween.
So this is my home. I have absolutely no room, so I have to do my haunt at my mother's house. I start in about August, starting to build and craft anything new that is going to be going up, or repairing everything that's been damaged.
I work for Red Digital Cinema. I am the security manager.
I end up spending most days after work and all weekends here up until Halloween, which I take vacation to complete. And this takes a lot of time away from my wife, who sees Halloween essentially as a mistress that I cheat on her with.
We got married early September. It was great. And we're going to France in December if we can afford to after Halloween. Last year, we actually made a rule that he can't talk about Halloween until late August, like around his birthday.
And how many hours is the actual haunt open for?
4 hours. That's it, on one night.
It's a lot of work for like 4 hours. But I really respect that you do that. I do, and I appreciate it. I support that you really love Halloween. Once we have our children, these traditions will alter somewhat. Not that they'll be gone. We'll always have Halloween. We'll always go to scary mazes, and that's going to be so much fun. But when we have children, and yes, when we have children, we're going to be trick-or-treating with our children on Halloween.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, we will.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see where this goes, because I'm staunchly against this. I will give you Christmas. I will be a father,
you have a
but
couple
I'll be damned if I'm going to give up Halloween for a kid.
He has a couple
It's not going to happen. No.
So Jamie, she's not so into the haunt.
No.
No.
If he could have a career doing this kind of thing where it's Halloween-oriented or movie-oriented or whatever it is, and he's building props and physical effects, I mean, that's the happiest he'd ever be, so long as it matches the salary you make now.
If you don't feel it in here, if you don't have the passion for it, to want that scream, to just go after people because you want to hear them screaming. If you don't have that feeling, what are you doing? You know, you can work in you can get another job.
If the kids on the school bus see this, they'll be like, oh my God, that's my bus driver.
I work at the zoo.
I'm an executive assistant, so October is my time to go crazy, and everything I'd like to say to the executives, I can just scream at the guests.
I work in the hospital as an ER tech. I've seen it all. I've seen, gunshot wounds, people get stabbed, all that stuff, and then I just kind of come here and scare people. I take a vacation, I cash out my vacation hours. This is my vacation.
Because it's a two-way thing. When you're working one person and they're screaming, you're having for that split second a little relationship with them. You're their tormentor. There's like a little connection between the monster and the human.
Ever since my first time scaring someone, it was a drug. I was just hooked.
My mom didn't like it. She thought it was satanic.
They don't get it. It's no one else's thing in my family. This is my destiny, to scare people.
It's the best job in the world because you get to scare the crap out of people.
We had an audience member chained to a wall. Our demon busted through a wall. An audience member fainted and then they peed on the floor. That was one of our highlights.
Because you can have a really bad day, in your personal life, and then you come here and you just let it all out on guests.
I like getting to chase people around and have that power over them and watch them break down and terrorize them.
When I was in kindergarten, my mother dressed me up for Halloween as a princess, and I knew something was not right. I told my mother I want to be a skeleton. First grade came around and she was like, you could be a witch. She gave me a witch's costume and it was good, but I still wanted to be a skeleton. Second grade, yay, I got a skeleton costume. I was so happy. I ran around scaring kids all day long. My mother thought it was going to be a phase.
Shar is absolutely an amazing actress. She is so iconic in the haunt industry and the community.
We're family. Family's important.
So how long have you been married to Shar?
25 years today.
Have you ever been to any of the haunts that Shar has been a monster in?
No, I don't find any entertainment value in being frightened.
Besides my regular family, my haunt family is really important.
She is the only person and the only scare actor that has done the entire gamut, ranging from booth scares to hay rides. She's been doing Smiley for over 14 years at Not Scary Farm, to interactive.
Delusion, which is a haunted play. I played a creepy old woman. Hello, I always play creepy old women.
To extreme haunts like Blackout.
She's really, really hardcore. I don't know how she does it. She just keeps going, and it's absolutely amazing. I hope that one day I can be like Char.
Oh, God! We don't mind the sound effects. We don't mind people being scared and screaming, but when you have the actors shouting these, you know, in people's faces and they're seeming to attack the people, that was a little disturbing, hearing that from our backyard.
Get out now, get out, quick! Hurry, they come, they're coming!
Oh my God!
They look like regular people. They look like regular people, but they're not. I would hear the scary things about, you know, what they had going on in the manor down there. Some really crazy stuff going on in that house. And there were some crazy people that lived there.
My real job is I'm a legal assistant in a law firm in the litigation department. The only way that it applies here is we've drafted the waiver.
Obviously, there was something that goes on. Disclaimers are created for a reason, which was also an indication to me that there's risk involved there, and I'm very risk adverse because of my work.
And what's your job?
I'm a risk manager.
I don't know Russ that well. I don't know what type of haunted houses he is trying to aspire to. It was seemed like it took a turn for a worse the last year.
So I went through it about 20 years ago. It was very passive, and so now it's a little bit extreme.
What was it like when you went into it 20 years ago?
Well, you went through the side of his house, and arms reached out at you from a window, and then he had like scary stuff in the back, but it was pretty simple. And then it was a basic haunted house, you know. And then since it got more extreme, I've been too afraid to go into it because I don't like being scared like that.
It was a much, much milder version than what it is now. It was a lot of fun. That was fun. That was like a mom and pop haunt. That was really fun. And then people started wanting more. They wanted to be scared more. And so it started evolving. And I actually don't know how it got to where we are now. I don't know what made that giant leap. And Russ started coming up with these crazy ideas. And I'm like, we cannot do that. Cannot do that. But we did it. And people want even more.
When the haunt first started back in the mid-90s, 95, 96, it was open only for Halloween. And that took me probably about a month to set up. Now, in 2008, the haunt is open for the entire month of October, and that means about 2 to 3 months of preparation of building sets and props.
It's going to have walls. That's the inside of our kitchen. That's Carol right there. And you won't see her. There'll be a barrier here. He's called the gusher for a reason. There's actually a hose attached to him. So when he sprays water, it sprays like a fire hose. We handcuff them inside this cage. Then we slowly fill up the pool. If you ever want to have a simulated drowning experience, this is where you want to come to.
You guys are sick! Sick people! Scary and sick! And I don't know what's wrong with you!
We pre-screen people. We have to make sure they're physically and mentally okay because it is, to say the least, very, very challenging. What 3 things really, 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 really freak you out?
My number one's probably spiders.
Something in my mouth. Snakes, rats, clowns.
We currently have, as of last year, over 17,000 people on the waiting list to go through. What would make you want to put yourself through 2 to 4 hours of non-stop terror?
Because I want to prove to myself I'm not a wimp.
2008 changed things for many people.
I was dealing with some significant issues about my profession and finding gainful employment. I was looking for a different way to quantify the horror I was feeling in my life. And I thought, you know what, this haunted house, it's nothing. So I thought, you know, I'm gonna do it.
Grace, our neighbor, she can see our house from her backyard. She's watched for years, and one year she came down.
Just the waiting, I could feel my heart rate going faster. I could feel my hands shake, and I started to panic. What am I doing here? This is crazy. This is crazy. I can't do it. I will not do it. I'm leaving.
I come in the house for a second, and I go back out, and she's gone.
So I jumped over the fence, and I made a beeline to my house.
I went driving, looking for her, and I could see her running down the street.
I ran as hard as I could. I ran as hard as I could.
She sees I'm getting close. She dives into these bushes to hide.
You just got to get in your house. If you can get into your house, you're going to be okay.
And I just get out of the car. I'm like, Grace, I know you're in the bushes. You're going to go through the haunted house. And put her in the car and drag her back here.
Let me out! Ross! Ross, let me out! No, I'm not Grace. Please get me out of the chair. Please get me out of the chair. I want out of the chair.
No, Russ, that's not happening.
The coffin is the scariest thing for her. And that's one way I got her in, because I promised her, I promise you, Grace, I won't lock you in the coffin.
I want out. I want out. This is bad karma.
But did I lock her in? Of course I locked her in.
No!
And then she lost her mind.
Have you ever had to pull the plug before?
Yeah, there's this one gal named Grace. She's famous, Gracie.
There was a room there where there was, I don't want to call it an altercation.
She was going for the axe, and she wanted to kill us all.
Okay, maybe it was an altercation. I thought, well, just get the axe away from her and it'll be okay.
Get it! Over my head!
It didn't work out that way.
I'm gonna kill you! No! I'll kill you first!
So what do you think, Billy? Is this something, seriously, that you feel comfortable doing?
I don't know. I'm just kind of don't really know what I'm getting into yet, so I want to make sure.
Do you not listen? I got the axe. I don't have to fucking listen to you.
I'm in this to have fun, but I'm not in this to get my head cut off with an axe, so.
Well, lucky for you, it's just a prop axe, so it would just, wouldn't actually cut your head off. But we had to take her out, so it happens. But just keep in mind, this is just a big show, man. It's a play. This is just a play. We're putting on a big old play. Like in the old movies back in the 40s, let's put on a show, everybody! Yeah, let's put on the play! That's, Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland. Let's do it!
I was terrorized. And it took me a long time to get over it the first time. It took me months.
Now you say the first time.
The first time.
Because.
And the first time I went alone.
Yeah, but then you went back.
I did.
I've tricked her into the hunt 3 different times.
Well, why did you?
Why? Because I want the footage. That's why. Because I'll do anything to get that special footage.
There's live snakes in this room, Grace.
Oh, God.
You said there was.
We lied.
There was nothing that said about it.
We lied.
So will I do and say just about anything? I guess I will. Because as a filmmaker, you're thinking about the shot.
I probably wouldn't do the haunt if I wasn't able to film it, because I want the world to see what I'm doing.
It's known as McCaney Manor, the most outrageous haunt in the country.
Extreme haunts where they're grabbing you, spitting in your faces, hitting you, and doing everything. That was my childhood. That was Big Brothers being Big Brothers. If you put me in a room with a box cutter, a chair, and some duct tape, I guarantee you'll have the most horrifying experience in your life. I don't see that as having any skill at all. It's a hack job.
Why do anybody go to this extreme to get scared? Don't you think that's a little too much? We're in a world of extremes. Someone's trying to outdo somebody else, and I think there's a lot of trends that are going on. I mean, how often is someone going to want to have a bag put over their head and have a gun stuffed in their face?
So it's deeply ironic, but there's actually a lot of fear in the fear-based industry, especially when it comes to new content, new ways of scaring people, embracing new ideas. There are a lot of haunted houses out there that have been doing it the same way for a long time.
Horror is fantasy. It's escapism. There's a reason why the horror genre was born in the Depression. You know, why Universal's classic horror films, Dracula, Frankenstein, The Wolfman, The Mummy, all those films were born in the Depression because people needed escape.
In the early 1900s, a lot of American amusement parks couldn't afford to build a roller coaster, and instead they'd go for the cheap thrills and build a haunted house.
The JCs, the Junior Chamber of Commerce, they were involved with Halloween events dating back to the 20s and into the 50s, doing Halloween parades in the 60s. And then by the early 70s, they were doing the JC haunted houses.
Dracula grabs his victim and hauls her away down inside of the casket. Obviously, she's a plant. Now, don't get too close to the audience if you're playing a monster. They're liable to strike back. And here in Livonia, Michigan, these enterprising JCs ran 20 to 30,000 kids and adults through this house.
They did them for fundraisers then, and they still do them to this day. What a lot of people don't realize is an evangelical Christian group called Youth for Christ was one of the biggest influences on haunting. They started Campus Life haunted houses.
The first haunt I ever went to was something called Campus Life. And I remember being just terrified of going through that.
It was Campus Life that created a lot of the standard elements that are found in haunted attractions today.
They did the checkered rooms, they did the surgery scene, they did the clowns.
And this was an effort to get youth more involved with the church.
When I went through that and came out the other side, I was like, wow, that's what I want to do. I want to create haunted attractions.
In the mid to late 80s to early 90s, Knott's Scary Farm was Halloween.
In 1973, Knott's Berry Farm became the world's first theme park haunt.
They changed the whole theme park over for Halloween to a Halloween event.
The tried and true traditional haunted houses that you see, that you've seen forever, they're the ones that are the most successful, and they're the ones that are going to continue to be successful.
So it's kind of crazy. I'm basically like a professional 10-year-old. I get to do what I dreamed of doing as a kid, only I do it on the biggest stage in the world for this type of event.
John Murdy is living my personal dream. He started off as a home haunter. He is now the creative director for Universal Halloween Horror Nights, which, as far as I'm concerned, is the best in the country. His work is a tremendous inspiration to me. The man should be knighted, as far as I'm concerned.
My favorite haunt would be Universal. You know, I mean, how do you beat those guys, right? You know, you got the sets and you got the production value, and I love all that stuff. I'm a sucker for all the bells and whistles. Now, just imagine what you could do with their sets and props, but turning it into an extreme scenario. That's what I think about when I go through.
We go to a haunted house, we confront our biggest fears. It makes us feel confident, like we overcame. There are so many things in this world that we can't control, very big things that we can't control, like economic failure, terrorism, war.
September 11th, thoughts definitely arose at Knott's. Are people going to be in the mood for Halloween? And the guests flooded the gates. The park sold out.
2003 was the first time most people had ever seen any real-life torture. And it changed the horror genre. Saw, James Wan's first film, would go on to produce one of the largest horror franchises today. From there, we saw the birth of torture porn. After Gitmo and waterboarding came to light to the vast American public, we saw Hostel, which took it to another extreme level with detailed, realistic violence.
We grew this event, by the way, in the recession, the worst economic crisis this country's seen since the Great Depression.
in the world is happening on Wall Street?
And I remember reporters coming up to me and going, you know, what's scarier, Halloween Horror Nights or my 401k?
I'm Robert Davis, and I'm a member of the United States Air Force, and I built a haunted house for service members. This was my first time doing a haunt in a war zone, and, you know, I was kind of curious how people would react. It turns out that people act the same as they would if they were back stateside. They want some relief. It gives them an opportunity, again, to deal with it, to process it in a different way than, you know, just sitting in a room and thinking about, oh my God, I saw something really bad. We had a lot of people come up at the end, and they really thanked us for putting this together because it gave them an opportunity to let loose and feel like they weren't in an undisclosed location in Southwest Asia for the night.
I think it can be a healing experience even for some people, but potentially very dangerous as well if you don't know what you're signing up for.
The first extreme haunt was Blackout. Blackout was completely different than anybody else's haunt.
A lot of the things that we had been seeing in the media and then that we were seeing portrayed in these torture porn films, they were doing to the patrons.
So many of the people that came in the very beginning of the run were really genuinely like, I don't believe that there's an experience that I'm gonna pay for that's gonna humiliate me and make me feel bad and rip my clothes and try to fuck me up. But there we were.
I've been to haunted houses my entire life, years on end. There's nothing like this one.
Blackout is an immersive horror experience that's designed for people to walk through by themselves.
You're alone the whole time.
Confront really basic fears.
I think they were the first ones to use naked people.
There's one little part where you crawl through a space and there was a naked guy chasing you, which was very disturbing.
There's a reason we use nudity. It strips away any artifice that could possibly take place between you and the person standing in front of you. Because all of a sudden, the audience member sort of looks you up and down and they're like, that's not fake. What are you going to do to me?
I think it's the dream of wanting to be in a horror movie.
You have to do things in there that I've only dreamt of doing. Things that I would lose my marriage over. Things that would put me in jail for the rest of my life. I just got to do a Blackout.
Kind of feel like showering, but like holding myself in the shower. You know what I'm saying? Like curling up into like a little ball.
Not what I expected. Totally awesome. I think they could have made it a little bit more intense.
I would love to bring like the pledges here for like a night. That would be fun for them. That'd be a good time. They'd shit their pants for sure.
It's an immersion in perversion, sex, killing, and true theater.
Because people spend so much, especially young people, spend so much time looking at a screen, mostly their phones, that suddenly live events are like taking on new life because it feels so different. And you can talk about it on the screen. You can say that you did this or you survived that. And in a funny way, social media has made live events more prevalent than they used to be.
When they go through, the audience members have a safe word. The safe word is safety.
And as soon as you hear a safe word, you're like, that gets you excited, because it's like sex and violence. Jesus. You're just like, ooh, yeah. Safe word, or can I make it through?
I just yelled the safety word in Blackout after 15 seconds because I was so scared.
All they need to do is call it. And the show will stop.
Does Victim Experience have a safe word?
Yes.
Does?
There's only one.
Does Freakling Brothers have a safe word?
They all do.
Just one.
McKinney Manor does not have a safe word. That's just weak.
No! I can't do this. Please let me out. Get me down. I can't see anything. Get me down.
I think that if they had a safe word here, they would use it right away. Because I don't think that they realize what they've gotten themselves into.
And once you get through that gate, you're his. And you're going to do whatever he says, because you're not going to get out of the house until you do.
And I know what they're trying to do. I know what they're trying to do, but the way that they're doing it, it's physically abusing the people, even though they say they're not, and they're fine afterwards. You know, when a cat plays with a mouse, when the mouse is dead, there's no more fun in it. That's how I like to haunt. I like to keep my mouse alive. My mouse can get out at any point, get away from me, move on, but while I'm there, I have them. I'll play with them, I'll do what I want. But at any point, they could get away from me. I'm never gonna put somebody in a position where they can't get away. What's the fun in that?
It's not just scaring people, you have to scare them right so the camera can see it, because the camera is what makes the movie. What makes the movie is what makes the fans.
He works on those videos, it seems like 24/7, and so I constantly hear screaming all night long.
I've spent so many hours with them. It's like they're my new best friend. The guests are the actors. They are my stars, because each person that goes through, I'm basically editing in my mind. I'm trying to get the shot I want. I want the angle I want. My favorite shot is up close and personal, 2 to 3 inches from your face. That's how we can see the fear in your eyes. So I have to get real fear. It's taking them to the ledge and tossing them off and laughing as they cruise down that hill at 100 miles an hour. It's actually very PG-13, although it's kind of R-rated in the sense that of the violence level.
This isn't just a haunt. This is an experience. It's not going to scare you. It's going to scar you.
Safety is always paramount. No one's ever been hurt.
Didn't someone have a heart attack?
Yeah, besides the heart attack victim, yeah. Yeah, we did have one heart attack.
What's your worst fear about what could possibly go wrong here?
Oh my God. You want me to put that on film?
Folks, of course, they have panic attacks, and things do happen. I do want you guys to have really good improv skills. When they throw up, what do? You pick up their throw up and you put it back in their face. That's what you do. Or you put it back in their mouth, and what happens? They're gonna throw up again. Now, that sounds gross, right? But it makes for some killer footage.
And I think that's very fascinating because art, as my father, who's a painter, has told me, it's not so everybody likes it.
After I'm dead and gone, those films are going to be circling the internet still, causing all kinds of hate and discontent. And how cool is that?
I don't like you anymore, Russ. You can't be my friend anymore. I'm your friend. No, you're not. You would have let me out, and I was fucking serious, too.
I'm teaching you to conquer your fears.
Bullshit.
I mean, is it a control issue? Is it about power? Is it fun to see people freaked out and screaming? And I mean, what kind of person does that?
I first got involved in the McKimey Manor down the street here at a park where Russ was DJing, and he announced, hey, we need actors for Haunted House. We're always looking for actors, and anybody want to help out? And I was like, my friend, I was like, that'd be so cool. Like, I could be an evil mermaid or something.
For a lot of years, we were known as the haunt that basically employed every kid in the block. And when
employed them?
Well, employed them with pizza and candy, so you can't get better than that, right?
I've been working at McKimey Manor for 2 years. I love acting here. It's the best job I've ever had.
I was extremely shy, and then I think about a year I really got out of my shell, and I was throwing people on the ground, like throwing people in pools, screaming in their face. I've definitely come a long way since I first got here.
After school, I finished my homework, and then I'd be like, man, I wonder what I'm going to do for McKimey Manor this weekend.
The kids, it's just tough to reel them in sometimes.
It becomes addicting once you make that first scare out of something so simple, and then you can't stop.
Well, we had this one actress who, it was either her teacher or her neighbor, but she did not like it that she was here, and she went way overboard with how aggressive she was with her. And we had 10 dogs at that point, and we have a huge garbage can in the back for dog poop. And so she like took the lid off the dog poop, and she's like pushing her face down in the dog poop.
It's tricky to try to do something as extreme and controversial as McCamey Manor and keep it fresh every year. Because I'm not one to have something stagnant. I'm not one to just rest on my laurels. I'm all about upping the ante.
So we kind of, you know, have our moments where we don't connect on exactly what his vision is and what I think it should be. I'm like, you can't do this. You cannot feed them this. Or what if somebody's allergic to this? And we have a lot of discussions and disagreements about it. But eventually we come to a point, but it's stressful to go from his vision to what can actually happen.
I need people that will really step up to the plate and not be afraid to pick people up, body slam them.
You're clearly violating people. When you grab somebody, you're assaulting them. When you're holding them against their will, it's restraint and kidnapping.
There's no sexual themes. There's no cussing. You know, we're not degrading anybody like Blackout. Do you need to go the sexual route? Do you need to simulate rape and other really horrible things out there?
You know, emotional hurt, emotional scarring is like one thing that I think Blackout has cornered pretty decently. But, you know, we don't ever want to physically hurt somebody.
Would you go through your own?
Of course not. Of course not, because I have common sense.
Once we have certain ideas, we'll kind of throw each other through it. Chris and I were working really late one night building the set. It's possible that we were drinking, and when I got out of the restroom, all of the lights were turned off. I remember this feeling being like, oh shit, something's about to happen. And I sort of was like, Chris, where are you? And out of nowhere, he just came charging at me. And like, as he got closer and closer, I was like, is that a fucking staple gun? And he just put it to my chest and started hammering the staple gun into my chest. And I was screaming bloody murder. And then we were sort of like, here, let me do it to you. Wait, is it weirder to do it on your chest or weirder to do it on your hand? Oh my God, your hand. No, no. But that was exactly how that idea was started.
All the things that scare me is what I did with this haunt. So why would I ever go through this haunt? That would be stupid of me.
He is afraid of everything.
I hate creepy crawlies, man.
He's afraid of snails.
Freaking stop! Okay.
Sorry.
I'm scared.
You lose yourself in the haunt. When you come out, you're a puddle of mess.
What'd you think? What time did you get here this morning?
7:30 in the morning.
You waited like 11 hours.
Yes. I'll do it again.
Are you gonna come back and see us again?
Okay, come. No. This is so scary.
These guys are nuts. But he's making money, ain't he?
Actually, he doesn't make any money doing it.
Oh, really?
So the admission price for McCamey Manor is 4 cans of dog food.
Yeah, he charges 4 cans of dog food.
Oh, that's awesome. Who eats that?
Which will be donated to Operation Greyhound, which is a Greyhound Rescue Society, and that's where we got all of our greyhounds.
Russ has a full-time job in the day. He works for the Veterans of Foreign Wars. He's a service officer.
When I was getting out of the Marine Corps, I had to go down and file VA claims and things like that. I think we talked for like an hour and a half or 2 hours about the haunt, and then finally we talked for 15 minutes about what I was there for.
Talk about his other job.
Russ is a wedding singer.
I'm not gonna do this.
And you're all mine.
I've been DJing here at Hazy Meadow for years. We have a lot of really good shows out here. Great place for events.
I
am Linda Hayes, and we live at Hazy Meadow Ranch. We have been doing weddings and events out here for 13 years. And we met Russ, as he's the world's best disc jockey, a real entertainer.
What's he like just as a person?
He's wonderful. He's the warmest, cuddliest, big teddy bear you could ever hope to meet.
Every home haunter wants to go pro.
Do you want it to go pro as well?
I do. You know, worked 12 years on it. It's, you know, I don't want it to just fade away into nothing. I don't think that people realize how much money we lose every time we run this haunt.
How much money have you put into your haunt?
I'm happy that he kind of kept to his budget this year. Normally he spends upwards over $1,000.
Throughout the years, $500,000 easy. Easy. Oh, easily. And probably a lot more than that.
Like his entire savings. And,
What's his budget?
300. And he spent way more than that, but still, I aimed low.
And this is $500,000 of just my hard-earned and Carol's money. I just wish I had more space to create, because I just want to create.
We knew that Russ had an avocation of doing haunts in his own backyard. And so he mentioned to us, what about bringing the haunt out to Hazy Meadow? So we decided to put the haunt right in the middle of our property where none of our neighbors would be exposed to the sounds.
They have a lot of space available, and I thought, well, you know, why not try to do something out there? We got this open area, we got this huge tennis court, and I'm thinking, yeah, I could do that.
it would be great to have the backyard back and have room for the dogs and actually have, you know, barbecues and all that stuff that regular families have.
Going out to check out the build. It's only been going on for a couple days, but progress is actually really good.
There's so much to do, and it really is a small crew.
He's wanted this since he was a little kid, to be a pro haunt.
I bonded with haunts with my dad just by, you know, starting out trick-or-treating and always doing the costume thing, of course. And he'd have me up on his shoulders and stuff, and I'd be like just amazed at all the lights and the effects, and I just thought that was the coolest thing ever.
When I was 7 or 8, me and my friend, we used to build dummies, and we used to go on the roof, and then as the cars would drive by, we would dump these bodies off the roof of the house. These cars would be freaking out. Even when I was in the Navy, I was in the Navy for 22 years, even on a ship, I had a haunt going on.
I met Russ in 1977. We were 17, and he had a huge personality, which he still has now. I would go over to his house, and he would sing to me on the guitar. It was very romantic to me.
Movies, acting, theater, that's been my world since I've been a little rascal, a little guy growing up, theater arts major. I just love to entertain.
Russ used to sing at restaurants up in Fullerton, and his dad and his mom came up with the name for his company and would make posters for the restaurants. And
what was the name for the company?
Musical Excitement with Russ.
I was at the Velvet Turtle for a while, so he made me one of these signs.
He and his dad were best friends. They did everything together. His dad was nuked in the Nevada desert in the Marine Corps in the 50s.
You mean the testing?
Mm-hmm. And he basically was cooking internally. After that, and he took his own life because of how much pain he was in from that nuclear testing. I know he misses his dad a lot. A lot.
You think your dad would have been into?
Oh, heck yeah. Oh, my God, yeah. My dad would have loved this. My mom would have loved this. Of course. Oh, my goodness gracious, yes. Yeah, they were always into Halloween and whatever I did and all the other little stupid haunts I was doing, just all the decorations. Oh, yeah. They would have loved it. That would have been a blast and a half. Yeah, that would have been great stuff. Yeah.
What do you love about Donald?
I love how passionate he is about creating. I mean, he's the most talented person that I personally know. I mean, outside of his being passionate, he's also the most loyal person that I know. I mean, that's in terms of, yeah, he does like things that he liked when he was 6th grade, but he also knows majority of the people he cared about when he was in 6th grade, and those are still, they continue to be his core group of friends.
La Madera Elementary School, we were asked to participate in the haunted house for the fall carnival. I was a dead Army guy, so they put us at the end of the maze. I would see the guys running in, and at that point, I would pop out and scare the hell out of them. I wanted to scare everybody. It felt powerful. It felt very powerful.
Most of my childhood would involve some sort of physical altercation at least once a day, to the point where my friends wouldn't come over to the house.
Donald wears sunglasses all the time because his pupils are 100% dilated 100% of the time.
And he'd sleep all day and then he'd be up at night, and and he would complain that it was from headaches.
I took him to a really special doctor over at UCI, and he goes, well, he's got dilated pupils. Well, I already knew that. There was nothing we could do to fix it. And he said it might be head trauma, which the way his brothers used to kind of beat up on him wouldn't surprise me. Nate beat up on Daniel when he was little, and then when Donald came along, Daniel had somebody to beat up on. But because there was 3 of them, there had to be 2 against 1, and so Donald got to be the one.
Oh, I've hit him with numerous things, but besides my hands, who knows? I mean, like I said, bamboo, broomsticks. We've had the cops called on us. We've had neighbors yell over fences at us.
His brothers thought that if they beat him up enough, intimidated him enough, that he would become like them. And you're a Jolson and you should be, and so we're going to make you tough. And we're going to beat you up until you are tough. And when you're tough, then you'll be skinny and be like us. And I thought it would work too. I mean, I did it in other ways. I would try humiliating him and embarrassing him. That didn't work either. If I had my wish come true for Donald, it would be that he could get into movie props again.
I was a professional prop maker for about 7 years, and throughout that I worked on several major motion pictures.
Minority Report, we did all the jetpacks, identiscans, helmets.
The one that was done in Transylvania,
Oh, Van Helsing?
Yeah.
The weapons?
Yeah.
In the physical prop making world, left California with the exception of the major studios. Within 4 years, I was lucky if I had 2 paying gigs every 6 months. My brother, he always kind of, like he would dress up and scare kids for Halloween and stuff like that. And he's like, man, you got to do it. It's so fun. And I remembered, doing it as a child and loving it so much.
It's strange on how, my brothers used to terrorize me, and now we terrorize everybody else.
It just got to a point where we found this common ground, and it's something that we just both fell so in love with. It just, it was like planting a seed and then watching it grow.
No problem with your workmanship over here?
Yeah, I know it will never be perfect. He's a perfectionist. I get the job done fair enough, and then he goes over and corrects it.
It's Donald's haunted house. I mean, Daniel says, this is what I'm going to do, but it kind of like with Donald's permission and approval.
When we all work together as a family, we accomplish things like the haunt.
We enjoy it. It brings us all together, well, with the exception of my wife.
I'm not participating in the maze. I'll still be up there with a glass of wine and watching all my friends do this for the last year that we'll all be together.
We'll see. We shall see.
There are some really strong relationships, and then there's some relationships that don't make it, but that's the nature of any kind of creative endeavor. There are going to be some hardships and some sacrifices on the way.
What does your wife think of all this?
Well, I mean, she's used to it by now, but I mean, I had a skull for a wedding ring, so that kind of, she knew what she was getting into.
Haunting is a very all-consuming endeavor if you allow it to be. If you're a partner who does not like that, that could be a real challenge for a relationship.
Has this haunted house brought you and Russ closer together, or is it tough on your relationship?
It's very tough on our relationship.
I mean, your wife has got to be pretty understanding.
I'd rather not talk about my wife. She's actually not in the picture anymore.
But he's very supportive of me, and without that support, I wouldn't be able to haunt the way I do.
Have you ever heard the expression haunt widow?
Yes, I am a haunt widower, absolutely. Every October, I'm a single parent. When it came to raising our daughter, you know, I was getting her out to school and feeding the kid and cleaning the house, and I would never see her. She would be coming home at 2 in the morning, or you know, I'd get up for work and, you know, she'd be snoozing away in bed.
Have you ever heard the term haunt widow?
No, but I'm probably an excellent candidate.
Yeah, it gets a little problematic. I want to explain to her all these great ideas that I come up with, and she shuts it down completely. Just doesn't want to hear anything about it. She doesn't want anything to do with it.
Every opportunity to really freak me out, he's on it. Always,
Yeah.
year round, all the time. Yeah.
I can't help it. Recently, I hid in the shower, and she went to the bathroom.
No, we're not talking about this one.
This one was my new favorite
No. This is not, This is not happening.
This was the best one. Ow. Just let me say it. So she sits on the toilet.
This is ridiculous.
She starts peeing. And at that point, I pull the curtain down and I go, ah! And she did one of those classics, what the fuck? Lifted up her leg and everything. And I could physically see true fear in her eyes for the first time. And I was so proud of myself.
Was this like midstream?
Yeah.
He let me get into it. Yeah, timing.
Yeah, timing is everything. I don't understand how you can be so against something that makes me so happy. Because there's very little things that make me this happy.
I think that moderation is important in life.
You know, I do love my wife, but I love Halloween too, and I need to find a way to make them not hate each other. Because Halloween's starting to hate Jamie too, I'll tell you that much.
I would hate to see it end. I don't really want him to go pro. I think that's a little not out of his class, but it's just more, it would cause more problems.
My wife just sent me a text, I'm over it, this Halloween stupid bullshit. If you're not leaving to come home right now, don't come home tonight.
My parents never really understood my haunting. I remember one time scaring my mom, and it really upset her, and she like lashed out at me, and she screamed at me, and it's like, don't ever do that, you know. The real bad one was when I got onto Knott's streets, which was a big deal. I was so excited. I go, who do you call? You call your mom. And then my mother's like, you're a streetwalker? I was like, no, Ma, it's ghost town streets. It's like the coolest thing at Knott's and everything. And she was like, you're a streetwalker. And then for the next whatever years, that's what she always said. You know, oh, it's October. You're a streetwalker. You're a streetwalker. It wasn't her thing, and I understand that. It's not everyone's thing.
Okay.
just seems crazy to me that someone's purposely scaring themselves and paying money to do it. When I am scared, I get defensive myself, and in some instances, I become violent.
As a monster, we know the fight or flight. And a lot of times, you scare somebody, they do this.
Are you going trick-or-treating?
No, probably.
Be safe, stay out of their face. You'll know when someone's gonna hit you most of the time. Get out of the way.
They push back or they punch. Those kind of things you have to accept if you're gonna haunt.
Enjoy the night tonight. Don't get too drunk. Don't hit the monsters or the zombies. And have a good time.
The best reactions you can get, oh, I like the ones when they drop. Just as if they have no knees. Just right down, boom.
One of the ladies dropped to her knees and started crawling and saying, "Hold up, y'all. I pissed my pants a little bit."
She dropped down onto the ground.
She fell backwards
Crawled out of the room screaming, "I want to live."
and started hysterically crying and clutching her knees.
It's always usually the big guys that come in there and start freaking out and windmilling and throwing their arms around.
I'm getting close to the end of the maze, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, out pops a monster, and I literally, with the back of my hand, smack monster right square in the face. The zombie comes up to me and says, "Sir, please don't hit the monster." Not only is the zombie a tiny little person, but it's also a little girl that's probably 15 years old. You know, not my finest moment, I can tell you.
But when somebody takes their fingers, curls their hand, and goes boom, 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 punches you, no, that's not acceptable. But it happens. It was a great maze. It was called the Underground. And it had some wonderful spots in it. But not my spot. My spot was people would come around the corner and see me and just punch me.
I never knew what she was going to come home, in what condition she was going to come home. Sometimes she'd come home, all bruised up. Over the last 25 years, seeing the evolution of just, how she was costuming and how much armor she was piling on. Gradually, every year, adding pieces of skateboard or BMX armor.
Boom, 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 punch me 3 times right here. Before I can even go, put my arms up and say, stop. I got one time 3 guys choking me. I know.
How did that even happen?
Just people having too much to drink. He grabbed my shoulders, pushed down, he jammed his knee into my back, and drove us both down to the ground, rode me to the ground, wouldn't get off me. That was the worst. He injured my back. That took me out of full-time haunting. After I got hurt, I came home. I didn't even tell him how bad it was. If I would have told him how bad it was, he would have been like, "You're not doing that. You can't go back."
Well, we would discuss it, and usually the discussion would be, "Well, I'm going to add another piece of armor to my costume, and that should do it."
Because of that injury, I'm in pain all the time.
Surgery's on the horizon. It's inevitable at this point.
Even though I was hurt seriously. I still am hurt. I went back the next day to haunt, because a monster haunts.
So this here is part of the morgue. The slabs would open up so the audience would be placed on this, then secured back inside. They're refrigerated, freezing cold inside. Electrified, they'd actually be shocked. So whenever they tried to get out, they would be shocked. The slabs raise up on these hydraulics about 12 feet up high, tilted down at a severe angle, and the bottom drops, and boom, they slide down a large apparatus into a funnel, crashing into this funnel slide where only one opening was there for everybody to scramble around trying to find their one opening to escape. And the ride would begin.
Russ put about 6 months of very expensive and diligent labor into constructing the haunt.
And it was looking really good and pretty doggone close and complete.
And then it all fell apart.
Just got the word, we're tearing the haunt down.
I did get one letter from a neighbor.
One of our neighbors called the county inspector, and he came out, took a look at it, saw the YouTube videos, and
accusing me of bringing in mentally unbalanced people.
It was the videos that really set people off. A lot of folks were thinking, okay, a haunted house, okay, boo, boo, scare, scare. And then the neighbors saw the actual videos on YouTube.
From the county, I got this warning that it would be $1,000 per day fine until the violation, the haunt, was removed, for a total of $50,000 per year.
There might have been more fees after that.
We already had a permit to do what we were doing, but they wanted an additional permit after they found out the extreme nature of the haunt. You can do it, but it's going to be another $35 to $50 to apply, and we can't guarantee that we're going to pick it up. So obviously the city wasn't interested. It wasn't worth, after putting all that money into it already, to chance another $50,000 and just see if maybe it might work. It would have put us on the map. We're still going to do it. It's a smaller scale.
How much money did you put into this?
Here, about $100,000.
It's a lot more work to move it back than to move it there. It's kind of disheartening, taking apart your dream.
When it's time to change, to transform into my monster self, I get into my costume. Usually the smell of the costume, even if it's freshly washed, starts bringing back memories of different haunts that I've done, different things I've done. Going down deep inside my mind, thinking about who I'm becoming, where I'm gonna go to with the makeup, with the mask, with the costume. Once I have my makeup fully applied, I go over to the mirror and I just look at the mirror. You see that other face looking back at you. You move your eyes around, you move your mouth. I see the reaction that's looking back at me. As I become the monster, I start letting my true self out, and I come somewhere in the middle and I make a connection. I'm that monster then, and there's no turning back.
I could just go home, get in the car, drive, and just hope. The only time I hope to get stuck in LA traffic.
I would love to be able to do this on a daily basis. I don't think at this point in my life I physically can do it every single day. I can't do 2 months anymore. I can do a couple of days here and there, that's about it. I'm just gonna put this up on the wall.
It's kind of amazing. The sounds, the way you breathe, the way you move.
It all comes from my pain.
Where does it come from?
It just comes from, yeah, a lot of it does come from pain though, because I'm in pain a lot. So, I don't know how long, I don't know how much longer I could do it.
I think the future of haunting is definitely taking a turn.
I don't think all haunts are going to get more extreme. Some will stay very traditional, others might stray off.
And it takes more and more to scare people. And once you start something like this, how do you turn back and say, oh, nope, didn't happen. Close your eyes, just go back to the old boo style. That extreme stuff, no, that was your imagination. Never really took place. Can't do it. So we let the genie out of the bottle. It's gonna be tough to get it back in there again.
I feel like the whole interaction aspect with the actors and with the storyline is where the future will go.
The idea of having a storyline, I think, is really cool, and I like the idea of that, and I hope more places will do that. Delusion, the haunted play, does exactly that. They start off with a story, and you go, you become part of the story, and things happen around you, things happen to you.
My character had kinetic power, and I would tell the audience that you have these powers too.
Everybody put your hand out together. Everybody would reach out. They'd be shaky, and some people were into it so much they'd be like, yeah, I have powers. In my ears!
The narrator would like reach towards the door and then telekinetically open the door, and then you'd see the grandmother.
So this, poor person has to walk down the hall, and as soon as they cross the threshold into the bathroom, I sneak out from a corner and I slam the door behind the person so they can't escape. And so when they turn around, they're face to face with this psychotic kid.
Your friend is now gone. You don't know what the hell's going on with that person. And all of a sudden, from the ceiling, drops this other minion, crazy, demonic creature. Meanwhile, the person trapped in the bathroom, they're hearing their friends screaming. People would say, what's happening to my friends?
It sounds like they're being murdered.
You're interactive, yet you're getting the scares too, and I think it draws to a broader audience.
I'm actually a little concerned for the future of haunts. I think that everything is progressively going to continue to get more extreme and worse until eventually somebody gets killed, and then we're all going to get slapped with legislation that will shut most of us lower-level haunters down.
At Hazy Meadow Ranch, we had these rooms completely built. So then once they shut us down, we had to bring it all back here. So what you're seeing, of course, is just in disarray.
We're back to the beginning and rebuilding in the backyard and starting all over again.
Compressors are a hassle. They're always breaking down. Always breaking down.
We got rid of the teenage actors.
One of our actors was doing some inappropriate things with, hitting on, with minors and stuff. He was sending explicit videos and photos and everything else you can imagine. Crazy. And we found out that he was giving drugs and alcohol to our underage female actor back here and doing also inappropriate stuff with her. He says the fame went to his head, but that's bullshit. That's no excuse, that's just bullshit.
At the same time, the people that wanted to be actors were more military.
There's a documentary, BBC documentary about Gitmo. It was a real leftist kind of a look at it. It was a look to where how horrible it was, is what it was, right? But it was interesting because I wanted to see if there's anything like us. These aren't all Boy Scouts. You should see this big giant guy, man. And he was part of all the skinhead stuff and all that junk, But he told me, he came clean and told me he was in jail a whole lot of times. So I'm cool with that. The other tattooed guy out, he's got a felon too, hitting a cop. So he came clean, told us, and we'll check it. We'll check the background on it, and it'll be fine.
What are they doing this year? I think this is what we always do. We're like, did you see what the neighbors are doing across the street?
You ready? It works.
I'm gonna go. What about this?
Steve, here's what you do. Grab it. Give me the thingy. I'm not gonna know because you're gonna break my bit.
I'm not gonna break your bit.
You're gonna break my bit.
No, hey, relax, calm down.
Just calm down.
I was told there'd be a fetus down here. Robbins, have you seen the fetus?
I am the Spider Queen.
Welcome to Nightmare on Loganberry! You are?
I'm scared. I'm not. Me either. I laugh.
G-shirt account.
When I'm on the balcony and I'm looking down at my haunt and seeing people enjoy it, I feel a lot of pride.
Why can't I do this every day?
I am celebrating tonight because tomorrow is November 1st. We get to tear all of this down and then focus on Thanksgiving and Christmas and, you know, we don't have to talk about Halloween for at least another 6 months.
I'm doing this haunt every weekend because I'm selfish. I'm a selfish guy. And I don't want to do just 15 more seasons. I want a season every weekend.
Christina from Kuwait. Are there any haunts out there at all?
I think here in Kuwait, they don't celebrate Halloween, so it really does suck.
A lot of my friends think I'm crazy for traveling 19 hours just to go to one haunted house.
I have honestly forgotten every reason that I may have thought this was a good idea at the time.
I'm trying to accomplish some fears that I have. I'm ready. Got my dog food and everything ready to go.
Found out about it in McCamey Manor, just came across the website and emailed Russ about it, and then he put us on the list, and it's been a year now, and I honestly didn't even think this was gonna happen.
I want to experience real fear.
I'm here because of this asshole. And I'm terrified.
I might have to go see a doctor after this is all done.
I can't even describe the feeling that I'm having right now. It's like the most anxious, terrified feeling I've ever felt. I've never felt this before. It's like the feeling I can imagine you're gonna get, like, when you know you're gonna die.
Do you even want a chance of surviving? You better listen to every single thing that we tell you. Do you understand us? The game begins. I hope you are ready.
We're gonna destroy you tonight.
For you!
Russ, I got it, please! Russ, please, someone else, please! Please, please!
Chew it. Chew it. All of it. Throw up. Don't you throw up on me. Pick it up now!
Walk around from me.
Watch her, look at her. Keep your eyes on her. Keep your eyes on her.
Don't touch your ass! Get your hands down! Get your hands down! You better die, son. This is where you die. Oh, what now? Now! They're really hurting me!
I don't see him anymore!
Keep it quiet, keep it quiet.
Did he die?
What's the problem? Oh, shit.
Oh my God.
Hang on.
Oh my God. I need to know my brother's okay.
I just died, dude.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
Where are you at?
What's the name of the haunt?
Yep.
What's the name of the haunt?
What's the name of the haunt?
I came out of a blackout from I have no idea what. It just I didn't know where I was.
Just say something!
There it is.
Get her over here.
Wake up. What are you doing? Wake up. Come back to.
Hey, head up.
What are you doing?
What's going on with her? Let's sit them up.
Okay. Hold it. Mandy, look up. What's going on with you? Right now? Tell me what you're thinking.
I can't do it anymore.
Tell me what's going on in your mind. What are you thinking?
I don't know. I can't do it. 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 I can't do it.
I told you I was going to have you for lunch, didn't I? We're not done with you yet.
So, what are you feeling looking at that?
It kind of makes me mad.
Mad at what?
At Russ. Because I was done there.
Heidi, this is your chance. You tell me right now, do you want to quit?
I don't want to quit.
Oh. No, we're not going to let you quit. You're not going anywhere. No.
I just want out. Just want to be done. Just want to be done so bad.
I'm really suffering at this point. Like, I am just mentally at the end.
Please let me out.
And it just feels like it was just a game for them.
I don't know what I want to do, because right now you're very entertaining to me. And I like to be entertained. I think you're faking right now. Are you faking right now?
Like, that's when I wish that there was a safe word, because I was so done. I remember that feeling, and it was horrible. To strip someone of the control of themselves is harmful, is damaging, is traumatic.
I want to quit! I want out! I want out! I want out!
That is abuse. That is assault, at least in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure the law.
I'm begging you, friends. I'm begging you. I'm done. I want to quit. No! No!
Because I don't think I could watch someone be in this place and not be able to stop what's going on.
I can't breathe. That's the only way to save him.
You know, I went through it, so now I want to kind of turn the tables a little bit and put it out on somebody else and see their reaction and see if I can push somebody to their breaking point. You know, I want to be that guy that makes somebody cry.
I want to go home.
You're not going home. That I want to now screw with a lot of people. I'm super excited. I'm super stoked. Like, I can't wait.
If there's ever an opportunity where you need an actor or something to come try through, give me an opportunity.
I will, absolutely, yeah. Well, you know what?
Why would you want to act in here?
Oh, I love it. Because the thrill of being able to hurt, well, let me rephrase that. The thrill of being able to do this to other people it would be awesome.
Because we have so many freaking haters out there that cause so much hate and discontent and call the police and call the FBI.
And it's funny, they speak the truth and they're all lying.
Yeah.
Why can't Carol release the waiver that I signed? The document that has my legal signature on it.
I'll give him a copy.
No, you will not.
Yes, I will.
No, you will not.
Yes, I will.
This is not a business. It's a home that we're doing for the fans. That waiver's to cover my butt. It's not for them to try to get on me later on.
We have new developments tonight about this haunted house in the North County that
we get death threats on a daily basis. Serious death threats.
McCamey says he gets calls, emails, and hackers trying to stop this, threatening to kill them and blow up the house, among other things.
The police are involved. The FBI is involved now. With the price of fame, which is, you know, and I do have fame in my own little dorky little world. You know, I got this little mini celebrity, which is amazing and amusing to me as well. But when that all happens, though, the crazies come out, the really big loons. Yes, this is Russ.
I have a 3-year-old.
Okay.
That is witnessing people slapping these children and people with bags over their heads, and I'm not okay with that.
We didn't have any bags. We didn't have any bags. And...
Whatever masks or whatever the things that were on their head, and they were tied up, and they were being hit in the face.
Okay. You have my promise that you'll never see us again, unless you want to come through the haunt.
I already called the police about it.
How are you? Good. Good. Come on in. I'm Russ.
The man of trouble. People build stuff all the time without permits, and they don't get caught until somebody like me comes along.
Lift it up and over.
Here.
Doing scare acting is just out of the question for me. So I thought, what else can I do? How can I just take this to another level, to a different step. And I started to look at taking the scare out of it and just doing acting, maybe doing creepy things with acting, because I like to still do the creepy stuff. Welcome. I play a sadistic, cynical kind of teacher. The scare acting side is a lot quicker. You have like your interaction with your guest and then you're out of there. It's a one-on-one kind of thing. With the acting, you're working for a bigger group of people. You're not in their face. It's a lot safer. No one has attacked me. Jerry, he was thrilled. He's really now more into like what I'm doing than he has been in the past, by far.
Mo, schnell!
My boss approached me saying, I've heard about your haunt, I hear it's off the wall, and invited me to construct their set for NAB.
It's one of the biggest trade shows in the world for like electronic media.
And they hired me to do it. I got paid for that. We built a Zodiac killer murder scene live broadcast booth.
It's made him feel so creative again, so passionate again. I mean, that's coming through in everything that he's doing, both at work and home.
We were nominated top 5 booths at NAB for 2015, which from my understanding has never happened before, which made me feel very good. It was like I was prop making again, and once again, felt like I was in my element.
It was huge, the amount of networking that provided him with. I can't really maintain my resentment for, Halloween.
Spent 3 months building it, 20-hour days.
One of the coolest things I've done with my husband.
It was great working with my wife. I feel like it brought us closer together.
Because I was such a big part of it. It wasn't just his 16-hour days. It wasn't just his backaches. We could go through the lows together. When we went out to celebrate, that was something we could do together.
She did all the jars. She was the one who was putting like, oh, I got a tongue. I'm going to throw a tongue in there. And I'm like, that's terrifying. That's great. And I'm like, where have you been all my life? Like, where was this person?
I'm just really glad to see that after all of this time, after all this hard work, we might get to live the dream.
And what's the dream?
To terrify people for a living.
I put out to all the haunters out there, look, does anybody have a building who wants to go in a partnership with me? And I got flooded with a lot of really good responses. Found one in Illinois that I thought was really good. So this is a Midwest town, and I'm so naive, I'm thinking they're gonna love me because I'm a lovable guy. Well, not so fast there, compadre. So, they want to burn my building down, they want to kill us, they want to...
But in San Diego, they wanted to
burn the building down, kill me, bomb threats. Yeah.
So where are you thinking in your mind that you're gonna go where you're not gonna get people that want to
burn the building down, kill me, and bomb threats?
Where's that fantasy land?
Fantasy Island.